So it's bad enough that Star Trek is failing miserably under Kurtzman, but they had an opportunity to bring the author of Project Hail Mary in, and they turned him down. They turned him down.
It's stupid. I can't even understand why you would do that.
Was he a threat? I mean,
well, that could be.
That's insane. When you have somebody of that caliber that wants to come in and work on Star Trek, and you basically tell them to go away, and then your latest show crashes and burns, that is a you problem. That is a much bigger L than just like, we didn't know what we're doing, we didn't have an opportunity to fix things, blah 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 blah. We're going to talk about it because he has actually put them, the author of Project Hail Mary, has put them on blast, put Paramount on blast, and said, yeah, your shows are shit, and basically you deserve what you get, right?
I know, it's kind of funny. And then they're also mad because he was on Critical Drinker when he said it. So they're
oh my God, I know. They're so angry about that. So fucking ridiculous. So petty. Like, I'm going to boycott your movie because you went on a YouTuber's show who I don't like that YouTuber. The chuds. Yeah, and like the movie's breaking all kinds of records. Yeah,
they're going to miss you. Don't worry.
If I were the Ellisons, I'd be looking at this like, wait a second. We had a chance to hire this guy, and we didn't do it. What the absolute fuck?
Yeah,
I'd be like,
right?
You know what? I mean, I'd be legitimately angry. I'd be like, get your box of shit together, Alex. Get the fuck out of my office. You destroyed the show. We could have had some talented science fiction writers working on Star Trek again. It could have been amazing, and you just couldn't help yourself. Just couldn't help yourself. Get out of here. All right, so let's talk about it. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, we give woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And I think this is going to be our second Star Trek video today. We did one earlier about the change.org petition, but then this came up late last night that Andy Weir said Paramount rejected his Star Trek pitch. And it's in Variety. It was actually on Fandom Pulse, too. They were talking about it, and they've got some other stuff. We're going to talk about Bill Shatner, too, that he's out there schooling people and saying, hey, Star Trek, or at least the original series, wasn't super political. Stop telling people it's always been political. That's not actually the case.
It was, but not like, there's a difference between having political, like, parallels and then the stuff that they're doing. There's, you know what I'm saying? It's like, there's a bit of a difference. But then again, Phantom Pulse points out in their article, they mentioned too that William Shatner said before that he didn't always post the stuff on his social media.
Right. So that will explain, because we're getting like two different takes from the same account. And just the other week, or I think it was last week, the Bill Shatner account was defending Starfleet Academy, and then now it's turned around being like, yeah, Star Trek hasn't always been political, you dumbasses. So I don't know who's actually tweeting. I know Brent Spiner had a story where he was trying to get a hold of William Shatner through one of his social media accounts, and he's like, yeah, I know. And he thought he was being blown off. He's like, I never saw it. He's like, I never saw it. So it's like, that wasn't me because I never saw it. But first, let's talk about this one. This comes from the Hollywood Reporter. Project Hail Mary author Andy Weir says Paramount rejected his Star Trek pitch. Their shows are shit. So to have,
funny that he just said that. Like, I like him already because he's honest.
To have the guy who wrote the book that the biggest movie of the last couple of weeks is based on come out and say Star Trek is shit now. That's awesome. That's really cool.
I just appreciate the honesty because, as you know, I'm very honest here. So,
Yeah. So the author of the blockbuster film says Paramount turned down his Star Trek idea and suggested that modern Trek shows have lost their way. Oh, my God. Yeah, he was on the Critical Drinker podcast. I'm sure they're going to get, this is the Hollywood Reporter, they'll probably get some digs in there. Like, he's not a vetted media outlet. Topic began when the podcast host, Will Jordan, saying how refreshing the box office hit Project Hail Mary has been, especially for audiences who grew up on Star Trek and now suffer from a lack of such sci-fi efforts nowadays.
It's true.
He said, yeah, I saw I forget who it was. I wish I could remember who it was who said, some analyst, he said something like, all modern science fiction TV shows and movies have been heavily influenced by the original Star Trek, except for the current batch of Star Trek shows.
I saw that too. I saw that post too. Yes.
Critical Drinker said yes, and they both laughed. This is why they're so pissed about the Drinker, because he's actually getting mainstream attention now, and his channel is what these other tryhards thought they should have been, and they're not. So now they're just going to throw rocks at him because how very dare you? I know he got invited to I think the premiere or the set or something too. But yeah, they said, yeah, they both laughed. At first, Weir left the comment open to interpretation, but then added, I'm Gen X. So my sci-fi was like original series Star Trek reruns and Lost in Space reruns.
Yep.
Got a lot of that from Project Hail Mary. And there wasn't really much in the way of new sci-fi that was airing where people were off in space doing cool things until we got Next Generation. Later, the drinker brought up the divisive Starfleet Academy, which Paramount Plus recently confirmed will end. I think we can probably safely never talk about it again. Jordan quipped, it's gone, baby. We're cheerfully agreed. It's all gone. Jordan says his advice to Paramount is to decanonize everything Star Trek from Enterprise onward. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. He said, okay, you're a little more severe than I am, said Weir, says the author. I'll give you my opinion, and I'm just a consumer. I like Strange New Worlds. I think it's pretty good. I didn't hate Enterprise. I thought it was kind of weird. Lower Decks I thought was entertaining and fun. All the others, they can go. And here's another thing. I pitched a Star Trek show to Paramount, and I was in Zoom with the showrunners with all the shows and spent a lot of time talking to Alex Kurtzman. I don't like a lot of the new Trek. He, as a person, is a really nice guy, but at the same time, those shows are shit.
Yep.
He's a nice guy, but they didn't accept my pitch, so, fuck him.
Okay, I really like him because, he talks like us. I like him. I get where he's coming from.
I didn't actually watch.
Same. I like this.
I didn't actually watch the Drinkers interview with him. I didn't watch it.
I bet you
I heard about it. I know people were angry. that he dared go on Drinkers podcast because how very fucking dare you.
I don't think he gives a shit. I think he'll tell you to fuck off.
He's even saying Kurtzman is a nice guy, but he can go fuck himself. Because two things can be true at once.
I was going to say that. Two things can't be true once. He could be a nice guy, but he's still ruining Star Trek. And also, I've seen him make other comments. I depends who you ask. But I just love his refreshing take where it's just like, it's shit. Fuck you. And I'm like, oh, that's kindred. Thank you. I love it.
Shockingly, they're not going on a tirade about what an awful person the critical drinker is. Unlike some people. I mean, I saw, it was actually Monday Matt was posting like, I'm not going to go see this movie because you went on that Chud's podcast, The Critical Drinker. I'm like, well, bitch, he's in the Hollywood Reporter now. So,
well, I was joking. I'm like, what are you going to do? False flag it?
False flag it. I was like, again, things are changing. I think it's actually a good thing that voices outside of this echo chamber are being listened to. And this is why so many people are listening to podcasts and they're listening to, alternative voices. It's not just because they hate everything. Like, you have got to be willfully ignorant to ignore the fact that the majority of old school fans are not happy with the direction of these franchises. Right.
Well, they keep trying to chase a new audience, but the new audience is never going to support it other than like until you take it away anyway. We saw the same thing with She-Ra. And you shared a thing on Twitter the other day, someone else that did his art, where it was like one person trying to tell the person they have to change everything about what they do to appeal to them. And they do. And then the old fans say, oh, we're out. This isn't for us. And then he turns to the one person he changed it for. And they're like, oh, I was never going to support it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what it reminds me.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, the comic strip. Yeah, because that's what they do. They basically, and this is happening with Dungeons and Dragons now too. By the time they realize they have made a grave mistake, because it takes a lot to turn around some big corporate enterprise, no pun intended. Well, actually, yeah, it was completely deliberate, so I'm not gonna lie. But by the time they realize that they made a huge, big ass mistake, they've already sunk hundreds of millions of dollars into it. They've already alienated a huge portion of their fan base.
We keep joking, like, just ask, us or other people that are known for, being usually right about this stuff. Just, give them some money to say, is this going to work or not? And you can save billions.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I think that's what's going on. I think now, I mean, look, do I think we run the risk of things being entirely too safe? Yeah, I think. But I think they are starting to realize that, like, look, the reason these podcasts, the reason these shows have the audiences they have the numbers they have, the reason that they're beating the approved mainstream media is because fans, resonates with the fans. They agree with them, or at least they're willing to listen to them. The reason all this stuff blew up the reason all stuff blew up, and this is what people don't realize, they think it was like all like some political thing or whatever. The reason all these podcasts, these shows, channels like ours blew up is because so many people wanted to know they weren't alone in this. Like, hey, it's not just me, but Star Trek got weird. Star Wars got weird, right? Like comic books got weird. All this stuff got really weird all of a sudden. And it's like, no, it's not just you. You're not crazy.
Oh, I'll just say it. I don't.
Yeah, it all got weird.
Like, whatevs. Well, I think you're wrong about playing it safe in the one regard, because I think what they're doing is they're playing it too safe with all these just rehashing everything all over again. Like, can we just like make new things now? New things that are good, because they keep trying to make new things, but then they use the same problems with the stuff. Like they're trying to reappropriate Star Trek, right? And they shove all this stuff into it. Which, by the way, Orville has a lot of the same stuff in it, but it works for the Orville.
It does. It does.
And that was something kind of new. But like you can make new things. And then you can shove all that same agenda shit in it and it's going to fail. If you make new things and you try to make it for a general audience and you try to make it for the largest audience possible and you make things that are good, people will come and people will enjoy it. And then and you can do new things. I think it's playing it too safe because these studios are so afraid to take risks on new things that they're just repurposing these things but giving it to these people. And they're going to ruin it whether it's a new thing or an old thing, is because no one wants to hear their political shit all the time. Like, can we just have entertainment for entertainment's sake? That's all you need to do. Make it good. Make it entertaining.
All right, so that's a good segue into this. William Shatner last night retweeted this account, this Eric Rozek. I actually muted or blocked this guy ages ago because he's just combative and just
I don't even know who
dick.
it is.
Well, he's a dick. So I like blocked him a long time ago. So Shatner called him out because this guy said this is an absurd thing for someone like Shatner to say the original Star Trek was incredibly political, even by the standards of its time. Shatner says, no, Star Trek was about society's social issues of the 1960s. Those issues over the years may have become political issues, but with the network censors, they would never have allowed political issue storylines to air. It's sad to see how, yeah, it probably is true. It's sad to see how uninformed some are about the past. Oh my God.
Well, you have to understand too, like, I can't even speak to the 60s and stuff. I wasn't there. Like, he was there. He would know.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I wouldn't know, but I do have heard about the censor stuff. Like my mom talks about like the Julia show and stuff like that, and about some things, it was like, oh, they were letting it on the air, but some things, got through, other things wouldn't be able to get through. I wasn't a kid then. I wasn't alive then. So I can't speak to how it was then. I can talk about the 80s and 90s and on at length, but I can't tell you from that. So it's a product of its time. You can't compare things of today to things of then because they're not going to line up.
No. And people want Star Trek to be, I think we've got like, people have very distorted memories, I think, of Star Trek and Next Generation. Like there was absolutely social and political commentary, more so after, I'm going to be honest, more so after Gene Roddenberry died. Next Generation and especially Deep Space Nine got a lot more political, but it was still, it wasn't as ham-fisted, but it was kind of obvious. It's like, okay, these particular aliens are supposed to represent this particular group of people, or maybe religious zealots or warmongers, or, what I'm saying? So it did become a little more like, oh, I get who they're supposed to be. I get it now. But yeah, it was primarily cowboys in space. On Roddenberry's watch, it was cowboys in space, and
So I think Roddenberry definitely inserted some political things into it. Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
No one has argued otherwise. But there's a difference between, like you said, peeling the ice cream and just like in your face giant ass enema. You're gonna take it.
An enema in your
face. Swallowing it, you know what I mean?
Why is the enema
swallowing it willingly? You're gonna take it rectally, unwillingly.
Okay. It's going to be a Klingon who does it. And it's not going to be a gay Klingon, so he's not going to be very gentle.
You know what I'm saying? It's like they used to hide the pill in the ice cream, so it was entertaining, and you took the pill and you thought about it, and you can make your own mind.
So
now it's just rammed up your ass and told you have to accept it, and it is what it is, and they don't even offer lube. And then, if you don't like take it willingly, they'll make you take it and then call you a bigot.
So what's the Klingon word for that? Bootfook?
I don't know.
Oh my God, Worf bootfooked him. What? I mean, I don't know. I'm just making shit. I don't speak Klingon. People speak Klingon. They get really mad when you speak it wrong. Tell me.
I'm not even going to
tell me in the comments. What's the Klingon word for getting it up the ass? Somebody knows because somebody has written a story or 500 about Klingons getting it up the ass.
I don't know. That sounds like the audience for the new Starfleet Academy more than it sounds like our audience.
Oh my God. Jaden got boot fooked again and again and again. Yeah, Star Trek has been boot fooked, and even I mean to have the author of Project Hail Mary come out and say, and of course they do this after Project Hail Mary is a huge hit. So if Project Hail Mary had been a disaster, you wouldn't have seen this headline.
You would have. You would have seen it, that bigot Project Hail Mary.
No, that's what I'm saying. You would have seen this headline. You would have seen another one like, that failure of a movie, Project Hail Mary? Well, its Chud author went on the Chud show, and now they're failing. Thought they could do Star Trek better. Chud. Yeah, fuck these people. Like, I'm at a point where I'm with him, too. It's like, you know what?
We've been saying it this whole time. We've never been hiding how we felt about anything.
No,
I'm not good at hiding my feelings.
Actually, my goal for this year, for the rest of this year, is to be less nice. Because
he keeps telling me.
I actually keep telling, not to you. I value my life, not to you, but just in general. I'm like, you know what?
People that are being combative for just to be combative. Yes.
So many problems can be avoided if you are just blunt with people, upfront with people, and don't dance around the issue. Because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, or I don't want them to think I'm a bad person. Let them think you're bad. Let them think you're a bad person.
You can be blunt and stuff and get your point across without being a complete asshole. But sometimes they push you to they just I'm like you're just gonna release the ginger, and you don't want that.
Release the ginger.
You won't like me when I'm angry.
Ginger rage. I don't like her when she's angry.
Shiver me ginger and call it a day.
Yeah, well, sometimes she gets a little spicy, and then she shivers me gingers, but shiver her ginger. But yeah, no, when she's angry, she's scary. She's like legit scary.
Actually, that's not true. You're scarier than I am, but that's a whole other story.
Okay, let me put it to you this way. She gets angrier faster than I do.
The eyes just crack, and I'm just like, just like the look, and it's like, oh shit, run.
I get angry less often, but when I do, it's like thermonuclear war. I will seriously, like, I don't even burn, like, I go from like 0 to white hot, and I'm like, I will destroy you completely and totally. Like I will end you.
I will get over it, and I'll be like, okay, we'll let bygones be bygones, whatever. Not him. He's like, I will get you.
Maybe not now. Maybe not a year from now, but if you have crossed me or you have threatened me, I will end you at some point in time.
I'm not like
and
that.
Ask her. I have done it because I really do.
He hasn't ended anyone literally, but anyway,
I haven't ended. Now somebody's gonna be like,
talking about this. We're talking about Star Trek.
Because it's ended. It's over, and fuck him.
You crossed Kneon. Look what happened. See, look, he ended it. No, kidding. He had nothing.
I used my mind powers to end the show.
These dumbasses somehow, like channels like ours, have no listeners but control all the decisions of pop culture with our bigotry at all times.
I can almost guarantee you there are some low IQ people out on Blue Sky who are saying that Starfleet Academy got canceled and Project Hail Mary did well because of Critical Drinker and Neurotic, because they're so fucking obsessed with them.
But the thing is, Hail Mary is actually a good movie. It's a good
movie.
You're gonna like it. You're gonna like it no matter where you lean politically, because it has nothing to do with politics really. And Star Trek, people in general didn't watch it.
No, they didn't watch it.
So that means normies were like, hell no, and they checked out. It's not. It doesn't have to be like this really difficult, involved, political, polarizing thing. It's just, they didn't want to watch it. It's not really that hard. It's not really that deep. Anyway, are we gonna wrap this up? It's not as deep as enema. Let's wrap it up.
Boot fook.
That's not as deep as boot fook.
Boot fook. Right.
Somebody's like getting mad every time you say that.
That's in the Klingon lexicon now. It's like, what's that mean? I was getting fisted up the ass by a Klingon. These other parts, enema shoved up the ass. The boot fook. There's a little apostrophe in there somewhere. All right, are we gonna wrap it up?
Yeah, it sounds like more of an Orville thing, but yeah, let's wrap it up.
Please subscribe. We'll talk later.
Bye.